The title of today's video is The Best Zoo Turtle, and we're going down to see Kenan at Kamp Kenan's, and he's gonna show us around. We're gonna see what turtles I should be buying. I wanna say the best zoo turtle that I can buy right now, because some of the ones that Kenan has have been gifted to him, and they are really, really expensive. So I'm not buying no $15,000, $40,000 Galapagos or an Aldabra now. I'm looking for what turtles can I buy, what turtles can we put in the zoo, what's unique, what's unusual. We'll take a look and see what Kenan's doing, and we'll see what we're doing here. Hey Kenan, how are you?
What's going on, Tom? It's always Christmas in July with you, buddy.
Oh man, so I brought you a few plants here. I love like an exotic look, a colorful look. And I tried to get you stuff that you're not going to find at the Home Depot.
No, of course. No, this is great. I see some more allocation, some more banana plants. I love them. We got are these the Singapore twists still? Or what
No, that's the Willie's Gold.
Willie's Gold.
Willie's Gold.
Yeah,
and hopefully we're going to look at some of yours and we're going to have more gold than that.
Okay, well, let's see. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm hoping. That's why I'm glad you're here. But you also want to see some turtle habitats. So you remember my redfoot enclosure was pretty big enclosure. But for the summer, what I did was I actually opened up the fence and allowed them to now wander this entire back area. So these guys get to see the pond. You can see we have 37 redfoot tortoise.
Oh my goodness, they have what, like a quarter acre or more?
Yeah, this is a really large enclosure. I wanted to show you the cool stuff.
Question I had. So I have 7 red-footed tortoises.
Okay.
And one of them is like there's always 6 together and one off on its own. And I'm always looking, and maybe I overthink it, but are they all eating, and how often do I feed?
Well, yeah, that's smart. I mean, you do want to keep an eye on any of the tortoises that you perceive to maybe being bullied or not getting enough food. So that's why at first it's better to kind of start with a smaller enclosure that you can easily see. Here, you can kind of see, we just had a big rainstorm. We'll probably get another one here in a minute, but basically, they're very active after a rainstorm, especially this species. A lot of tortoise species, turtles, will kind of get stimulated to move around because the humidity's just right and it's comfortable for them. It's not too hot, not too cold, kind of like Goldilocks part of the day. But what's neat is, if you recall being here before I had the tortoises out, lots of weeds would spread up around here. But these guys, any plant that is a certain height off the ground, they are my yard workers. They are amazing. They're gardeners. They just have walked around. They've trimmed up some of these ferns. We had some variegated alocasia that they get at. They love the alocasia. All throughout here, they've kept the undergrowth at bay, and I think it looks really nice. I don't have to do a lot of gardening because the tortoises are doing it for me, man. Check it out. Come on over here.
Do you miss the lilies?
Yes, I do. And so Greg Whitstock always yells at me for not having lilies in the pond. But look, I'm a turtle guy, right? I'm a turtle guy first. There, finally, you can see the giant Amazon river turtle. She's become so friendly. In fact, let me throw some food out so you can see her. So amazing to see these guys get stimulated for the food. But the key with turtles and tortoises is to provide a really good habitat. Look at the size of her. Isn't she amazing?
And what is that again?
That is called Podocnemis expansa, or the Aral River turtle. They're from the Amazon. There's a male and female. The male is much smaller. The female and the male I got from Zoo Miami. I belong to different societies and I work with different zoos. Sometimes they have animals they can no longer display. So they call those surplus animals and they find good homes for them. And I belong to the Turtle Survival Alliance, and that opened up a lot of doors for me to work with different zoos. Basically, I provide homes for these animals. I don't buy animals anymore. I provide homes for some of the zoo animals that get retired. So it's a pretty cool situation I've found myself in. And this particular species, it's an endangered species, and it's an animal that I've always wanted to work with, and now we have them here. We also have the Royal River terrapin. Those are the Badagraphinus. These two right here, that's Diego and Frida. These are 2 of the larger turtles from Southeast Asia. So we've actually got the largest South American freshwater turtle. We have the largest species of, Asian turtle, and we have the largest species of North American freshwater turtle, the alligator snapping turtle. So we're doing pretty good with big turtles here, and they need a big habitat.
Do we have other species in here?
There are. There's the fly river turtle zooming around right over there. You can see that one. That's the pig-nosed turtle. It's got paddles and it flippers instead of paddles. And it looks quite like a sea turtle the way it swims, but it is the only freshwater turtle that has flippers like a sea turtle. And they're found in northern Australia and in New Guinea. We've also got the painted river terrapin, and over here we have an Australian side-neck turtle called the Kreft's turtle right there. She too is from a zoo, so she's just kind of hanging out right over there. So, you know, today you said you wanted to talk about habitats. We've shown you what I'm doing with my tortoises, providing large, spacious enclosures. And it's been working for me in a way that I don't have to do as much work to feed the animals, and then I don't have to do as much work gardening, because they're really eating a lot of what we would consider weeds. So it's been really clean in here. And a large enclosure with the freshwater turtles, again, doesn't require a lot of work because your filtration is able to sustain such a large population of turtles, because we have a large population of water, or a large volume of water rather. And then all of our marginal plants, they'll nibble on those and provide shade and things like that. But yes, I miss the lilies.
Yeah.
You put a lily in here, it's like the salad bar. These guys just go crazy for it. They eat everything. I wish there was a way.
We could do like a little 8 foot by 8 foot pond.
Yeah, I need to do something. I do miss lilies. When this was covered with the lilies before I had the turtles in it, my wife and I, we loved it. Not that it's not beautiful now, but the lilies add another dimension to your pond. You need that kind of plant life in the pond.
Now, do you work with what species you can mix and what species you can't mix?
That's a good question. I mean, with water turtles, it's a little bit less strict as far as mixing species together. Clearly, I have some Asian turtles in with Australian turtles, in with South American turtles. The thing is that you have to make sure their requirements are being met. So all these animals have the same diet, they have the same requirements, they're not showing aggression to each other. So that's good news. This pond is the largest pond I have that's small enough for me to keep an eye on and manage the population, because if we get a cold winter, I'm gonna have to run water in this pond. And you need a large enough volume of water that's small enough that the well water can actually have an effect on the temperature. So that's fail-safe number one. Second thing, is I'll have to get in here and pull some of the turtles out if we have cold weather lasting more than a week. So that's becomes quite a job.
Do you know I'm a little colder than you?
You are, yeah.
I have a swimming pool. I have an in-ground swimming pool heater.
Right. Oh, that's really smart. But here, check this out. This is a new retaining wall I did. You can see I put some bromeliads in there. This was a fun project. I just think this looks so much better. We've got some weaver's bamboo that's going to create a hedge. We have some of this alocasia here and a few over there.
See, I didn't even know these could take full sun. See, I learned stuff. I just tried different things in different places.
You know, yeah, like, you know, as far as these alocasia, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're blasting themselves. They're not getting huge quickly. So I don't know if they're happy here or not, you know? So that's where you come in. I mean,
you know, a lot of times what I do is I cheat. I don't know if it's cheating or not. I grow them first in pots.
Yeah.
Till I get them to about where I want them.
And then you put them in.
Then I put them in. But a lot of it is just because in the pot I can control the fertilizer.
Right.
And I can control the water.
This whole back area, these guys are doing good. This was our first planting.
No, Godzilla's garden was first.
Yeah, Godzilla's garden and this. What are these called now?
The common name is copperleaf.
Copperleaves. I love these.
I love these too.
Yeah, these are really, as you can see, they're doing well. Same thing with those. Are those copperleaves also? Or they're like...
Yes,
different variety.
Come all different. These are all copperleaf.
Yeah, they're just fantastic. They're doing well.
I have this is the one right here. I like this one better than that one.
Okay, which one do we know?
This is Java White. I like the exotic look of it all.
Okay.
Like, so I love the Java White.
Okay.
With like something pink or red. There's a clerodendron. There's a pagoda flower.
Okay.
I love something that has a flower.
Yeah.
You know, it just ties everything together.
Gotcha.
And I think the clerodendron pagoda flower, I'll bring you some next time.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is great.
I bought some turtles this week.
Oh boy.
I got an adult turtles.
Oh, what kind?
I got an adult, the Parker's snake neck.
Snake necks, nice. I love snake necks.
Then I got an adult, the Mexican giant musk turtle.
Yep, Tripricatus.
Then I got, oh, these were not adults. I got the Asian soft shell.
Very cool.
They get like 31 inches.
Chinese soft shell?
No, the Asian.
Asian soft shell.
I got another adult. I got a female common snapping turtle.
Cool.
But that's like the most personable turtle.
I love those. Yeah, I have another one coming.
Someone told me if I was going to get another tortoise species, maybe the mountain black.
Oh yeah, the Burmese black mountain tortoise.
Black. I was told
they're very cool.
They have the personality of a redfoot, I was told.
Yeah, they're very cool. They follow you around. They're very hardy. They could take your cool winters, no problem. And with all the plantings you have, you could create something very unique for them.
And I was told to buy them in threes.
They're a forest tortoise. I know the guy that you can get some from. He's a great guy, Vic Morgan. He's up in Jacksonville.
Well, after I said goodbye to Kenan, I went to FedEx, picked up the turtles, and I brought them back to Andrew. So Andrew, I got some turtles. I found an adult female common snapping turtle, and it seems like a common turtle, but there's been zero for sale for several months.
Yeah, I mean, they're illegal to collect out of the wild in Florida, so the availability can be really low. You have to get them sourced through captive sector, which can be very limited.
Babies are real easy to get. Babies are really easy to get.
At the shows, you'll see babies like crazy.
I could buy a gazillion babies for 15, 20 bucks.
Yeah, easy.
But we got one here that's 12 inches. I also got 3 Asian soft-shelled turtles, but they get the 31 inches in diameter. And we also got 1 giant musk turtle.
Okay.
So we got lots of containers here. We just got to give them maybe a quarantine home.
Yeah, we got to definitely set them up temporary for a few weeks so we can watch them.
Oh, and we also got this. You said you'd be interested in trying this?
Yeah, 3-toed Amphiuma. These are really cool. These are Florida native, basically a freshwater eel. And you'll see them at night shining our cypress swamp. This is one of the main foods of a eastern mud snake that we have here in Florida. So very alien-like, very unique. If you spend time in the swamps at night, you'll come across them shining, but most people don't even know that these exist. These are Asian soft-shell turtles, and these are critically endangered in the wild. They have a lot of the same habits and features as our Florida soft-shell turtles that we have all throughout the state. You know, one of them being, of course, the softer shell compared to most freshwater turtles, and then that extending neck. But the neck is incredible. They can extend that neck up above the water to breathe. That allows them to do so without unburying themselves from the sand. So these guys kind of bury themselves up in the sand. They wait for small crustaceans, small fish, pretty much anything, small shrimp that are in the area to move by, and then they'll snap them very quickly without having to unbury themselves. So that pig nose, a lot of people call them pig nose turtles for our Florida species because they have that same iconic nose as this Asiatic softshell does. But again, that is for extending their nose up above the surface to take a breath and then re-submerging themselves down to wait for food so that they don't have to unbury themselves from the sand in order to take a breath and lose their position while they're hunting. We're going to add them to our quarantine pond here for just now so we can keep a close eye on them, make sure they have a healthy bowel movement, make sure they eat, make sure that they get along, and then we'll move them to something more permanent and more visually aesthetic. But they're going to have a ton of room going into our quarantine pond here. And you can see they're all pretty alert. This one is definitely my favorite. He has some spots going along the face right there and the head, some really cool markings. And then this one is, he did not like that very much. He wants to bite my finger. But I don't want to let him. And these turtles get really, really big. Again, just like our softshell turtles in Florida, they get really, really big. So let's put them in the tub. We can put them right on the rock and let them go in on their own here. You can see they have those webbed feet. They are excellent swimmers. And he's got that first bit of water. And he's in. Coming up for a breath. And back under. Okay, you can let the other ones go, Jesse. This one looks like he's a little bigger. He has a bigger head, a lot lighter in color, and it looks like he has a couple nicks out of his shell there. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on that. And he's a little shy. He's going right into the blocks to hide. But that's okay. That's why we put him in there, to give them a good hiding spot. And he's already inside there. And now we got the smallest one of the group diving right in. And Tomas, our fish caretaker, had a great idea to catch some live minnows and load this up with minnows tomorrow so that they can feel like they're hunting food naturally, because I'm sure they're going to be scared of us for the first few weeks at least. So here we've got a common snapping turtle. You know, they get their name for a reason. These are pretty common in Florida. Just driving through wetlands in the state, you're going to come across them pretty often. Recently, I've been seeing some smaller ones cross the road. Nothing quite as big as this recently, but you know, in the wild, they are pretty common here in the state of Florida. These are a snapping turtle, and he was just trying to snap at Jesse's fingers just a moment ago. But in the wild, these animals will eat pretty much anything. They'll eat dead fish, live fish, snails, shrimps, crawfish, other turtles, you name it. They're not picky at all. They were open to pretty much eating anything. So a lot of times when you see them in Florida, because they are so, they match their environment so well and they blend in, people see them often when they're crossing the road. So just how Jesse's holding him right now is exactly how you want to pick one up. If you're in a position where you can help a turtle cross the road, especially a snapping turtle here in Florida, that's exactly how you want to handle them. A lot of people pick them up by the tail, which can actually really hurt their spine and break bones on the turtle. So this is an excellent way to handle them, and you're safe from being bit that way as well. So if you are in a position to help a wild common snapping turtle, do so. But yeah, we are going to do the same thing that we did with our Asiatic soft shells. We're going to put him in this 500-gallon pond for a couple weeks, just to observe his behavior, observe his health, observe his weight, and make sure he's eating, all that kind of stuff. Same deal that we talked about before, but we just want to make sure that we get him acclimated, and then we'll be setting him up in something more permanent. You can get a close-up look at him here on top of the shell. You can see they are really, really tough. I mean, you can see them sometimes being spit out by alligators. You can see them fighting with each other. Sometimes they get clipped by cars, and they survive a lot of these injuries. Of course, they're not bulletproof. You know, they still do face a lot of road mortality from vehicles in the state. But that beak right there helps crush up all that food that they want. And they're, again, just really amazing turtles. The nails, they can walk on land. They can climb fences. They dig crazy nests. They lay tons of eggs. And the hatchlings, when they hatch from the egg, are only about that big right there. So it takes them a while to get this size on them. And this is a captive animal that we purchased because it is illegal to collect freshwater turtles here in the state of Florida. So this animal has been purchased from a breeder, and hopefully he'll acclimate well. So we'll go ahead and put him in his pond here. I'm sure he's going to want nothing to do with us but leave him alone, but we'll be observing him very closely. And there he goes. We have a giant Mexican mus turtle, which is actually a really cool species of freshwater turtle, but they can get 14 inches long. So over a foot long for females. The males stay significantly smaller. I'm not sure what we have. We're going to find out soon. But let's give you a closer look at our Mexican musk turtle here. And this is a captive animal, and you can tell he was overfed. He has some pudge hanging out of his shell there. So we're going to put him on a little diet and get him to a more healthy body weight. But this is so cool. This is just a giant version of our loggerhead mus turtles that we have in Florida, and you can see awesome colors on the belly. Looks very similar to that snapper on the belly, and the shell is just awesome gold color with the 3 lines going down it. He has really awesome pattern on the face. He's been kind of shy, hiding his face, but really, really cool features on this giant Mexican mus turtle in here. And we're keeping him in a 300-gallon tub for now, just to make sure he does well. I'm not too worried about this guy eating. As you can see, it's got a little bit of pudge hanging out, but that's okay. We'll whip him into shape And this is going to be a really cool addition to the zoo here. Okay, so our three-toed Amphiuma is settling in here. These are aquatic salamanders, and they do have small limbs, and it's kind of hard to see. And I don't want to mess with them too much here, but you can see they do have tiny little limbs back there that help them navigate through the swamps. Pretty amazing animal, pretty unique animal right here. And they feel just like a land salamander, just very slimy and slippery. And they like small crevices and cracks. That's why they, you know, squeak into rock crevices in our creek systems and our waterways and our springs. If you spend any time in our freshwater systems at night, you're going to come across them. Even crawling over rocks or logs or anything like that. They can bring themselves out of the water for a couple minutes, no problem, just like he's doing right now. And on a really heavy rain, you will even notice these guys crossing the road to the other side. So they do have a lot of really cool features on them, and you can see a really close-up look at this unique animal right here. And we're looking forward to raising this guy up and getting him huge. These animals get pretty large, so we've got just a little baby one here right now. And we're hoping he acclimates well and takes a good adjustment to his new home. Again, we'll have him in here for a few weeks. And then once we see he's eating and doing well, we'll move him into something more permanent. But there he goes. Excellent swimmer right there. We'll make sure to keep the mud snakes away from him.
One of my favorite notifications to get on my phone is a new price list from Florabunda Palms. They update the price list twice a year. If you look here, they updated the price list here on June 25th. 2025, I'm always the first one to place the order. And look at all these palm trees they sell. Look at this, it goes and 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 goes. 220 varieties of palm trees. And like I said, my collection is about 250. I probably got over 100 of them from Jeff. And Jeff is 83 years old. I don't know how much longer he's going to be doing this, but I'm grateful he has his company, Florabunda Palms. It's 8 o'clock at night. Everyone has gone home. I'm unpacking these palm trees by myself. Each individual pot is in tin foil. They lay them all down in these large 50, 60 pound boxes. Each one has like 50 pots. Everything is wrapped up in this newspaper. And like I said, I would have someone filming me, but I'm here all by myself, unpacking these palm trees. Everyone has seen the red ceiling wax palm. They have these beautiful red stems, maybe the most tropical and most desirable of all palm trees. That right here is a yellow red stem palm. This yellow stem palm tree is very rare. I've never seen it before. I don't think it exists on Google. When they're little like this, the stems aren't very bright. Once they get 4 or 6 feet tall, these stems are going to be a beautiful yellow. This right here is Heterospathy califrons, another really rare palm tree. This right here is Ravenii musicalis. It is the only true aquatic palm tree. And I've never seen one of these before. And like I said, I paid $20 for this, plus shipping. You know, sometimes if you've never seen a palm before, it's because it doesn't grow where you are. Because I would have thought that someone in Florida would want to grow this if they could grow it. But this is a true aquatic palm tree. I've only seen them in books. I've never seen one in person. So hopefully this will turn into something someday. This is Chamberonia leptodota. This has a purple crown shaft. I've never seen it for sale before. Very rare palm tree. Once again, a little seedling like this is $20 wholesale. Calyptrocalix polyphyllus. I love these rare palm trees where the first leaf comes up red. And I wish I recorded this a few days ago. It was even much redder than that. You can look here, this leaf is a week old and you can see it fades to green. But a lot of these palm trees, their first leaf is bright, bright red, and then as they get larger, they fade to green. He sells bare root seedlings, he sells 4-inch, and he sells gallon. So it takes 1 year to go from a seedling to a 4, and it takes maybe 1 year to go from a 4 to a gallon. But I'd say to go from this to this is about 1 year, and to go from this to this, it's another year. I have never grown a seedling to an adult plant, but I keep trying a little bit every year. But look at the beautiful modeling. This is the only way you can buy really rare stuff like this is in the seedling form. So this right here is the Pananga maculata. It's a very rare palm tree. It is grown for these beautiful variegated foliage. They harvest the seedlings, so there's the seed, and obviously you get the sprout out of here, you get some roots, and they ship everything in moist sphagnum moss. I'm using a bark mix. It's a really chunky mix here, because I want to get some good drainage. The whole key to get this stuff rooted is to not get it waterlogged. You want the roots to be able to get a little air. Basically, when you pot something up, you want to pot it about the same depth. Roots underground, stem above ground. It's kind of like that. There's the 6 pots. I'm just going to water them in a little bit. And you can see there's absolutely no water at all standing in the pot. It's very quick draining, because like the key is you want to have oxygen in the root zone. So this right here is my humidity tent. When the fans come on later in the day, and we're gonna get nice, cool 80-degree breeze blowing across these palm trees. So this is an evaporative cooler. We're in a humidity dome. And once the fans kick on 9, 10 o'clock, the cool air will rush through here. We will see you next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe.